Finally found the magic button.
Linda, can you turn that mic on?
All right, it is 6:30 Wednesday, the 17th of July, 2024, and I'm calling this Board of Director meeting to order. And so we'll go ahead and tackle agenda item number 1, which is comment and question from district residents. And there's a limitation as to time, 3-minute limit for each speaker. So I'll go ahead and invite Sylvia Lopez, who's the first person that has signed up to speak.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm here today to talk about the last MUD meeting. I was pretty appalled when 3 board members voted to remove Linda Fobb from the committee where she reviewed invoices executed by the various vendors and then elected Beth Jones to inherit that role. Beth Jones has clearly stated that her preference is to pay the invoices with minimal or no review. So I guess Hanoi and Kelly, do you support payment without scrutinization because it's much easier? Do you not care the vendors entail error or unnecessary fees? Because I get the sense, since it's not coming out of your checking account, who cares, right? Just pay them. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these vendors work for you, not the other way around. Then shortly thereafter, the same 3 board members voted Linda Fobb to no longer serve as president. If the evening couldn't get any worse, then they voted Hanoi Avila to inherit that role. A board member that has violated the MUD deed restriction by housing chickens in his backyard. The same board member that has no qualm sending letters to residents that he believes are violating the deed restriction. Let me be clear, I have no issues against the chickens, but I do have issues when a board member is being a hypocrite. So Hanoi, why do you believe you would be a better president when you clearly don't hold yourself accountable as well as not being transparent? 2 key elements that you stated were important in your campaign when you asked to be elected by the people. So how can the MUD subjectively enforce code violations? And I guess Cole's not here.
He's online.
Is he not going to be here?
He's online.
Okay, well I have a question for him and I would like for him to answer it. And the question is, would this situation invalidate all code enforcements by the MUD? And then my next question to him is, can a resident file a complaint against a board member that has violated the deed restriction? To be fair, we're getting letters if we violate something, so can we do the same to you? Thank you.
To answer your question on
Thank you
that
for your
deed,
comment. 1 second.
it's
I want to
factually
go ahead and, do we want to open the table for feedback to public comments?
Yes. That's why they come.
Just want to, okay? Kelly?
Yes.
Feedback? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Feedback? Go for it.
So the rules state that if you wanted to, and any member, any person can put in a complaint.
Okay.
But the rules state that it has to be in your section. So if you happen to live in that section that has the violation, then you would be able to put in that complaint as per the rules.
So if
am I
I
correct
would-
in that statement?
Yeah, I'm not contributing to the comment, so.
Kelly, am I correct in
I'll
that?
verify that. So to be able to file a deed violation complaint, you need to reside in the same section as the place where the alleged violation is occurring.
Okay, so I would have to live in his section.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And then if we inform people in his residence, in his sector, that he's got chickens,
Then
and they aren't happy about it, then they can file a complaint, since I don't live in his residence. Because I live on Lake Lemnos, I'm not sure what he is. Is that, I mean,
Well,
how would I go?
people who live in his section can do that if they want, but if it doesn't affect you, then.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dave.
yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Cynthia Kimball, please.
Just
Just in time. Hello, Cynthia Kimball, I live in Lake Line Oaks. Been trying to pay attention as much as I can to the MUD and its business. And, I'm just worried about water. That's the main thing that our MUD does. And I think that it seems like, there's a lot of MUD business, but it seems like our focus is not on water and wastewater. And I see there's on the agenda a report about the status of the lift systems, and I'm most interested in knowing about its repair, the repair timeline, the cost of it, and how much money do we have to repair these things. And until we know all those things, I worry about spending a dime. It's kind of like having a home, not knowing if your roof is going to break in, but let's go for a shopping spree and buy some shoes. So it really just is very concerning, and maybe I don't know enough, but I'd like to know more. There's really no forum for meta-communication, which is frustrating. I wish that could change. And I also noticed about the Infomark with the endpoints for the electronic meters. I sure hope you guys get those all installed before you complete and terminate your relationship. I think that was promised in a few meetings back, 4 meetings back. So I know that's an agenda item, so I hope we continue to see them fulfill those promises. And lastly, and not the first time I said it, I don't know who brought it up, maybe Cole, about a financial advisor. I really think this board needs an advisor, like a business advisor coach, to help the board get along. What happens in this boardroom is a lot like our country. It's divisive, it's painful to watch, and I like to be involved to help things improve. And every one of us has a responsibility to do what you can do. That's all you can do. You can't be responsible for other people, but only your own actions. It's hard to get along with other people, especially people who aren't like you. In business, we learn we have to do that. And this board has not learned how to do that. So I recommend that you hire some kind of business coach. I'm not a business coach, but please give that serious consideration. Let's get things out on the table. Let's talk about it. Let's learn how to work together. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all I have for today. So moving on to agenda item number 2, consent agenda, including approval of meeting minutes, 19th of June 2024. Linda?
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Go for it.
I move that we approve the consent, the minutes of June 19th, 2024 with corrections, which I believe Tammy's been on all day.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Comments?
I've not seen
Suggestions?
the corrections tonight. I read the first.
David?
No.
Okay. Linda?
The minutes reflect accurately what transpired on June 19th.
All right. Well, let's move to vote. All in favor? Okay. Motion passes. Minutes are approved.
We got 4 yeses.
We have
And yours?
4 yeses.
Are you a no or an abstain?
I didn't see the corrections.
Is that a no or an abstain?
That's a no.
Thank you.
All right, accountant's report.
Alrighty, ladies, we have Kara and Tia online. One of y'all wants to unmute.
I just unmuted. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
All right. Welcome, board and everyone, all the consultants. This is Kara. If you will scroll past the cover page of your report, you will see your summary of funds on page 2. And then when we go to page 3, you will see the cash flow for new first checking. We've started the month with $24,569.91. We added for receipts a little bit of tennis fees and a transfer from tax pool of $300,000 for a total of $300,395 in receipts. Under your disbursements, you can see the T.F. Harper and Associates check, which was voided at the last meeting. We are presenting checks number 1232 to 1270 for your approval today. As my understanding, we did not write a check to Badger Meter because they owe the district a credit. So we are holding that invoice, and that will be presented if we receive that credit at the next meeting. Page 4 is the cash flow for your central bank operator account. We started the month with $64,691.03. You had accounts receivable of $60,490.83, a service charge of $5, leaving $126.86. Your cash flow for Cadence checking is on page 5. We started the month with $97.92.15. You can see your May receipts of $149,328.07. Under your disbursements, we had some payroll fees, some T-Tech bills and returns, and then you can see your fees of office that were approved at the last meeting, and a transfer to tax pool of $145,000, leaving disbursements at $150,005.60 for a balance of $91,14.62. Your cash flow for the Cadence Bank reservations follows on page 6 with a beginning balance of $10,670.19. You had a facility rental of $184.19 for your total receipts. Your disbursements have a little gateway fee, an EPX fee, and your facility rental refund of $350. Total disbursements of $458, leave $10,396.38 in this account. For your Cadence Bank Manager's account, there was no activity in that account this month. Your actual versus budget is on pages 8 and 9 of the report. I have looked over this several times. I don't really see anything out of the ordinary. We did expect at this point in our fiscal year, looking at the bottom row on page 9, to be about 1.1 million over budget. And at this point, we're 1.85 million over budget. So we're ahead so far this fiscal year of $756,817. I've got QuickBooks open as well as your invoices. Are there any questions from the board?
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Go for it.
I move that the bills and invoices for this month not be paid because they were not presented in the board packet by the Committee of Hanoi and Beth or by Artesian. There is nothing in there for us to look for as of 4:30 this evening.
Second that motion.
Do you want to make a comment, or I can?
You have a second, so go ahead, make a comment.
The reason why those were not put in today is because of the storm that they had in Houston, and they've been out without power, and we have rushed to get everything done that we could get done because they didn't have a way to get things pulled up. So I don't think that not paying people because of a natural disaster should be a reason to not pay people.
David?
I think that's a perfect reason why not to pay people because of a natural disaster. They should be able to understand that they don't have internet, they don't have all those things, so they should, expect, I figure that they'd be understanding that, our accountant and we're struggling to get it all, so I think that it would be.
I don't think our water company.
Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Or our
Hold on.
fire department.
Order.
Yeah, let's have him talk.
But
We
yes.
were able to have a meeting with
Excuse me,
Beth
we have a
and
director
Hanoi.
making a comment.
Hold
Give me a
on,
second.
ma'am. So yeah, I do believe that it would be okay, and to me, it feels that we do have a reason for a hold on these bills because we aren't able to get all our information. And just because I don't think we should just pay without seeing what is due. I think it's a lot harder to get a credit and then somebody chase after that credit than to just hold off. We can always make a special meeting to pay those bills in a week or two once we get all the information, and we can go ahead and make those payments. But I think right now at this time, without seeing those bills, it would be irresponsible for us to do so. And, you know, we are here to take care of the tax dollars, so the people.
We had
So-
7 people together.
Order.
Bev.
Order.
Yes, this is
It's
this
twice.
time.
It's twice. And that is it. Thank you.
This is Cole, just to interrupt, that motion, I know Linda made the motion, was it seconded by David?
Yes,
Okay, thanks, all right, sorry to interrupt, I'm just trying to keep track.
it's okay. Whenever y'all make motions, you might speak up just a little bit because he's trying to keep track of them. My computer mic is not the best.
Great. Are you done, David?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
excellent. Linda?
Hey, Mackenzie, if you mute your mic, I can hear better on the live stream.
Okay, but the others may not be watching the live stream. Kara and Tia.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, all right.
I have the live stream open, but I am listening through your Teams.
Okay.
Sorry, Cole.
The board package should contain the bills and invoices, payroll for the constables, fees of office payment requests for directors, and an accurate bookkeeper's report. All of this material is due into the board packet 5 business days prior to a meeting. At 4 p.m. this evening, the accounting folder was completely devoid of any material that would allow a vote to pay the bills or any part of the accountant's agenda item. A vote to pay for invoices we have not verified would be irresponsible. I have no confidence in a committee recommendation when both members have failed to place the information we are considering in the board packet. Approving without verifying is merely rubber stamping. I, for one, will not do that given the amount of errors made by this contractor during the course of their employment in the district. Furthermore, when I got here, the stack of checks was sitting on the dais, and I did flip through them very quickly and noticed that Infomark's invoice 1155855 has absolutely no receipts attached to it. It's almost $10,000. Waste management has gone up by $2,444.71 without an explanation. There are 2 refund deposit checks in the board packet that are for with deposit banks of $1,000. Those have to be verified against the spreadsheet that I have received that supposedly contains the valid amount of deposit bank. And Kara, the only financial report in this folder that was put in there after 4:30 this evening has the refund deposit holder redacted. I can't verify redacted information. So no ma'am, this is unacceptable. And if the checks were able to be written and got up here, then they could have made it in that board packet. Or what did you guys look at?
Okay. Comments?
Has the committee reviewed these?
Yes.
All of it, all 7
it
of us.
We have reviewed. I have actually we had a second meeting with Lissa. We went over invoices and we have done the review
They also
personally.
called me too.
And then Mackenzie was involved. Everything was sent to her via email. And so yes, everything has been reviewed.
And then just to add for waste management, you approved the CPI increase, so that's why you have an increase. Y'all did it last month.
Why isn't it this information in the board packet? Why aren't the invoices in there?
Well, the information was submitted to Mackenzie to upload into the.
I asked if they wanted me to upload because they had several going back and forth.
Yeah.
I didn't get a response back to confirm that. So that's the only reason I didn't put
Gotcha.
them in the packet.
Yeah, my conversation with Lissa was.
She did
that
send them
was
to
going
me, but
send
I
it to you.
emailed her back and I said, do you need me to upload
Yeah.
this? But I didn't hear back from her.
I get it. Yeah, no worries.
They're supposed to upload it every month. That's part of their job.
Yeah, also they've
had internet
made it
issues.
very
They don't
clear
have-
that they were having issues with, my conversation with Lisa, I've engaged with her on a few phone calls. They were having issues with the storm. And so she made that clear via email as well, so. I'm sorry, I don't know if you have any comments to make.
No,
it's
that
your
was
turn.
my one question.
Yeah.
Quick question. So when did you receive the email for the bills and invoices and all the information?
We've met
So you received it through email?
We've received it to email, correct? Yep.
And when was that you received it?
We received that, we met yesterday, and we reviewed that.
Friday, Thursday, you said?
Pull it out.
That's saying Thursday or Friday.
I have to do it on this one, sorry.
While you're looking for that, I would like to add that for the last 5 months, each and every month, when we received, Kelly and I received the bills and invoice attached to an email, it was me who uploaded them to the board packet on that same day, because Artesian initially was having trouble accessing our Google Drive and making that upload work, so I was doing it for them. In the 5 months since March, they have never done it on their own. It requires the committee to do it for them. Or it has so far.
We do not have the ability to edit the Google Drive. That is why we emailed the invoices to the invoice review committee.
Additionally, too, this month, being that Tammy with Cole's office created the folder, I don't know if that would have allowed everyone with folder rights to have access. So that could also be an issue.
Did something change that Tammy had to make this month versus all the other
It's
ones?
typically whoever gets in there first to add something.
I
I add
have
it
been
first,
doing it
Linda's
every
adding
month.
it.
Okay, that's the change. Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it.
So
So,
I'm assuming since
well, the
it's
reason I
added-
asked for when you met and when you received and everything, because obviously there's internet issues, whatever the issue may be because of the storm.
So I got
That's
your,
not,
so committee meeting was at 11:30, and then I met again with Lisa to go over the errors found at 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
on Tuesday,
Yep.
yesterday. Okay,
Correct.
because that was just saying Thursday, Friday. Okay, so I'll disregard Thursday, Friday, Tuesday. So obviously they had internet at that point. So, you know, to me, it is, in my mind, in my eyes, in my understanding, it's that it is Artesian's responsibility to put it into the folders. That's what I thought we were paying that amount of money for, and that was their job. They're the accountant. I heard them say they were having trouble. Okay, I get that. But I was under the impression that Artesian is getting paid to do that job. At that point, Tuesday, you received the information, so that information was available Tuesday. That information should have been available to the whole board to be able to, at least 24 hours in advance, get that information so we can look at this, so we're not standing here discussing it, wasting time, and able to vote on this decision. And I could have made a vote at that time. But unfortunately, since we don't have the information, I can't make a vote. Thank you.
Thank you. So, all right, are we done with comments? We have a second, and can you repeat the motion again?
I move that the bills and invoices for this month not be paid because they were not presented in the board packet by the committee of Hanoi and Beth or by Artesian. Nothing in there was in there as of 4:30 this evening.
Okay, and so we have a second by David. Can we vote? Okay. All in favor of that motion, we can vote now. Okay, motion fails.
You three are no's?
3 are no's, yep. All right. Next agenda item. So we covered bills and invoices, review of payment of current not to exceed expenditures.
Hanoi, this is Cole. You all just did. I heard there were 3 no's that the motion failed. Is that inaccurate?
No, that's correct.
That's correct.
Okay, so you're okay.
So,
Thanks.
sorry, before we go to the next item, then we need a motion to approve total of the invoices to be paid. And if Artesian can give us a total, and if somebody can make a motion to approve payment.
Kara, could you provide the total, please?
$317,021.42.
And Kara, that amount, that does not include the amount due to Liberty for the catch lift station, is that correct?
Yes, let's take just a moment, if I may. We have received a request from legal and engineer to issue a check to Liberty Civil. We do not have a pay application yet, so we do not know the amount. This will be under review by your engineer and your attorney, as well as we will review the pay estimate when we receive it. That would be approval, if you will, of check number 1271 made out to Liberty Civil.
And board, I'll let Jacob touch on this, but if you'll recall, we discussed this at the last meeting. It was recommended for payment, but there was an issue regarding a potential outstanding lien on the facilities. And so what we did at the time was, you all voted last month to defer payment. Well, actually, I'm sorry. You voted to authorize payment, but have Jacob hold the check until the issue with the lien was investigated and determined either valid or invalid. And so we've talked, I've been in contact with the contractor as well as Jacob, and he says that they do not have a lien, they've just been threatened with a lien. And he said that the payment that he's receiving, the next invoice that he receives from the board, is going to pay his subcontractor to ensure that no lien gets placed on the district facility, or I'm sorry, no lien gets placed on the contractor.
All right.
Kara, this is Jacob. I did just send you that pay app as well, so you should have it.
Speak louder.
You see it on the other side.
All right, so we have a total. Can we, can you submit the motion, Beth? Or do you want them to restate that total? Got it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to make a proposal that we pay $317,021.42 to pay off the district's bills this month for July of 2024.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Do we need any further discussion?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Let's be mindful that we are subject to 2 hours, and so go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Do you have any further comments, Beth?
Okay. The only comment I have is that I think that our district would like to keep water on, and that if someone has a fire or a problem, that we want EMS to be there.
Okay. David? Any further comment? Linda?
Yes, I want to reiterate that this bills and invoice package is incomplete. There are missing receipts in there, and the committee has approved it without having backup receipts. And if you're worried about accountants that have public
Okay, I
fund
think we've submitted a
experience,
motion already, that the
This-
motion has been seconded, so, and
this-
voted on.
and this opens it for discussion.
Okay,
So
go
now I'm
ahead.
going to discuss it. This literally violates all public finance laws. You don't have supporting receipts for some of your stuff, and you're approving it. So I just want to make it real clear who's looked over these bills and invoices, and make sure they get in the board packet so I can annotate it for the auditor, okay?
Yeah, and they will be uploaded, and you are welcome to dive at them. Any further comments?
No, I'm good there.
I'll just say that ever since I've been on this board, it's been the practice of the board to defer to the committee in charge. And I don't think any one of the other three ever looked over the bills and invoices prior to the meeting. And so I'm following our prior precedent and following the committee's recommendation. And I don't think it's fair to deny our contractors payment for their work because a mistake was made. Now, next month, now we know the expectation, and there won't be another hurricane probably next month, so. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. So it would be great. I would like them in the folder in time for everyone to review them, but in this circumstance, that's my reasoning for my vote.
And I have uploaded all invoices that I received to the folder, so they are there.
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, next agenda item.
You have to take a vote.
Well,
You have to take a vote.
Kara was
Yeah.
trying to speak earlier. Do you want to hear what she needs to say really
Go
quick
ahead, yeah.
because it changes the amount? Kara, can you go ahead?
At 6:57, I received Liberty Civil Pay App number 3 from Jacob. It's in the amount of $306,900.
So that'll be in addition to what y'all approved.
Okay.
But please keep in mind, you all did approve that at the last meeting. By all means, you can reapprove it tonight. I have no issue with that, but it was approved at the last meeting, and you requested Jacob to hold it. But again, you all are the board. It's your business, so you can re-vote on it if you prefer.
It's already been approved.
Somebody wants to reapprove it? Okay, it's been approved.
Yeah, we're good with letting our prior approvals stand on
Yes.
that. Okay,
Okay.
where are we?
We need a vote.
Yeah, you
We need a vote.
on the motion.
Should we restate the motion and to make it clear? If not, we're ready to vote to approve. Okay. All in favor?
Opposed?
All right, moving on to the next agenda item. So are we C, status of 5-year transition history for Austin Capital?
Yes, it is on the table in front of you. The stack right there to your top left, Hanoi, your left, is all of the 5 years.
Those are not bank statements.
That's what they provided. That is what Austin Capital Bank sent directly to me.
Actually, I would like to discuss this too.
Can you, would you like to, any board members would like to see this?
I have.
Statements you have? You review them?
I'd like to make a statement.
I would too, that's what I was waiting for, but you asked me to wait.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let's start with Beth,
Sure.
and then we're going to go this way.
So this afternoon, it was brought to our attention on the financial committee that shortly ahead of the board meeting tonight, after our board vote was made at our last meeting for Artesian to request a 5-year history of bank statements for Austin Capital Bank for a nominal fee. Beyond this, Director Fabre contacted the district's auditor, McCall Gibson, to request that they contact Austin Capital Bank for this statement at no charge to the district. This action was taken by Director Fabre, circumvents a past board motion. Actions of this nature can cause the district to incur more costs involving additional vendors and consultants. No board member should be asked any vendor or consultant to perform a request for free. This insinuates that our district is not willing to pay our consultants for the work that's performed. And like I said, this came out this afternoon to us. We were unaware that this happened. And so I just thought it should be made aware that we just made this motion at the last meeting and it's already been violated.
Can I see that email?
The email was sent to our committee by Tisha.
I'd like to make a comment.
Give me a second. Let's have David. David, do you have any comment or?
I just have to go through all this
Okay, well,
stuff.
go ahead.
If you look at the meeting minutes on the consent agenda that you just approved, you will see that at last month's meeting, I was instructed by Kara to check with the auditor for those records, the bank records from this bank, because the board did not approve any expenditure to gather those records. I was instructed to contact the auditor, which I did not make a phone call, Beth. I didn't ask him to pull any records. I have the email, I have his response.
So
That
this
is
is a
not
lie?
true.
Okay, can you
Point of
let her
order.
finish the statement, and then you can go?
He said that they do not collect bank statements and that I should get with the bookkeeper who does have those statements. And that was the end of the conversation. It was exactly what the board suggested that I do last month. Look in the meeting minutes, Beth. So yes, wherever that came from, that's mendacious. That is not a true account of what happened at all. But I did reach out, as suggested last month, to the auditor for those bank records. The reply was they don't normally request statements from any bank, as the district bookkeeper provides them with a detailed set of records for the audit. Any bank statements would be provided by the bookkeeper. I'm concerned that if Artesian didn't have them when I asked, that this bank account may have been omitted in last year's audit. I will be following up on that during this year's audit, which begins next month. I did also place a call to the Austin Capital Bank today and learned that someone has obtained this information and incurred a fee for doing so, despite a board vote that could not happen. She quoted me $3 per statement and $50 per hour for research. And that information Cole asked Kara to obtain for this meeting so we would know what it would cost to get the statements. And again, I would point you to the meeting minutes of last month for the direction on this item.
That's something cool.
Okay, so let's allow Kelly, do you have anything on this item?
No.
Yeah.
So did that email come from Lisa? I'd like a copy of that email, please.
You can ask Cole for it.
Cole, please send me a copy of the email from Lisa Riker
Okay,
with
so
her
Yes, ma'am, I get that.
accusation.
she's not accusing anybody. I have the email here, so I don't see any kind of accusations.
I want a copy of the
It's-
email.
It's just factual email.
No, it isn't factual, that's
Any
the problem.
response to her comments? Do you have any?
I just know that
anything to-
we've went over this with quite a few people, and we also went over from the meeting last month on what was voted on, and that what happened, you actually went behind the board's back again.
You are
Okay,
mendacious.
let's stop it. I do have an email that you contacted Brian, our auditor,
Yes.
to ask and request for this information.
Yes,
Okay?
as I was
And
instructed
so
to do.
Let's go ahead and you'll receive the email from Coles, and then we can, move from there.
And I'm forwarding my email to him and his response to the board. And the minutes are public information, and I will deal with that.
All right, so moving on to the next item. Review draft budget for the district for fiscal year ending 30th of September 2025.
I don't think you have a draft budget to consider. I think this is just a standing item.
Yep.
No, it is on our financial plan. We should have a draft budget this meeting to review.
I don't think in the history that we have, typically, this is when the board begins discussing it and you come
We
to
need
the
a
next
draft budget, a preliminary that's on the financial plan.
I'm letting you know in my history that y'all have done it at your August meeting.
All right, so we don't have it, so there's no use to keep wasting time at the moment.
If I may
Unclaimed property,
speak for a moment,
Hold on,
this is Kara.
it's Kara.
go ahead, Kara.
Go
The
ahead.
TCEQ guideline is that a budget is adopted in the last month of the fiscal year, which is September. We will be presenting a proposed budget at the August meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara.
So so she just said, what I heard was that September we approve the budget, right?
You
September.
approve your budget and
Okay,
your
so
draft.
August, they give us a preliminary.
When do we have
When
time
do
to
we have
work on
time to
it?
work on that budget and adjust? And, to me, that preliminary budget should have been done this month. So now this committee has this request, that committee has that request. You have enough time to get to the next one. Okay, these are the changes we propose. Okay, then we go and approve it in September. But I feel like we may need another meeting in between to say, hey, these are some
Can-
recommendations of each committee on what
In the
they.
past, y'all have had a special meeting.
Okay.
So can we have the for the budget committee to reach out and make sure we're ready for September? Can we do that? Agree to do that?
Who's on the budget committee?
Lynn and I. So we will reach out and get it going.
And before you move on,
Do
so
you
this.
have a proposed draft, and I know you were working on that, Linda, at one point, and so,
I have not worked on it this year, but I will go back in the minutes from last year when Lisa came up here and wrote us all the filth because we didn't include her, and that was in July. So I will put something together so that we can, based on a financial report, and see what it looks like.
Just for the board's record, your August meeting of last year is the only one that had draft budget on it, not your July meetings.
And can you stop her from attacking Lisa?
all right, so let's
I'd like
move
to
on.
make a motion. Oh, wait, we're on E? Are you
E,
on E?
yep, E.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're done then with E, right? So
No,
you're
no.
saying you want to make a motion?
Well, unclaimed property, we still need that.
Okay, so go ahead.
We need Kara.
She's still here.
I'm here.
It's her agenda item. Unclaimed property. Report due to the comptroller on June 30th.
I need a moment to find that. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared for your question. If you want to move on, I'll find that.
Let me make a
Can we,
statement.
can we jump back to C? I asked that we can jump back to C. I just have a question on it.
To C?
Yes,
For 3C?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So that is the remaining balance that we do have money in that in the amount of $248,158. Somewhere in that nature is what I see. I'm sorry, $237,848.61 is what I see from this statement.
What's the year on that one?
That is 2024. So I'm assuming that this money is still in this account.
Nope, the account's closed.
Has it been closed and has that money been transferred?
It should show
How would
history
you know?
transfer.
And
How would you
yeah,
know?
how
We
do
don't
we
see
know?
transfers.
That's
We-
what I'd like to know, where that money is
Me too.
and track it back, because that's a lot of money that.
And we need to
It
know
looks like
who
to me-
had access to
it looks
that
like it's-
account.
So that's, while she looks on claim property, can we have an answer for this?
Not likely, and the reason being is that Austin Capital Bank sent that directly to me, so the bookkeepers have not even seen those reports. I made copies of those reports to mail back to them, because that was not sent to them first. They don't have those records.
How'd you get access to the account?
I didn't get access to the account. They gave them my address to send it to, so that way you could have it for your meeting, because that's the only way it was gonna get here.
So can we then submit those to the accountant? and get-
Yes, I have a stack in there printed for them. That is y'all's stack to keep, or whoever wants to. I have a stack in the office ready to go back with your checks from tonight.
Okay, awesome. Seems like we have a plan, it's just, let's make sure we touch on this exact same subject next month to make sure we have an answer as to the
$237,848.61. Cole, could you put that on next month's agenda, please?
Yes, I will. Do you have any specific language for the agenda that you want, or just
I
a
think-
review of the Austin Capital Bank?
I think you could probably leave the same agenda item on there that's currently under
Okay.
the financials, and
Same
then
thing.
they can touch base on it then.
Okay, we'll keep it under the accountant's
Thank you,
report.
All right, are we ready for unclaimed property?
I am.
I'm still looking. I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a statement.
Go for it.
The minutes from June 19th, Kara assured this board they would be sending the unclaimed property report to the comptroller by June 30th, 2024. Kara told us last month we would have the report by then. I've not received the report. Was it submitted to the comptroller?
Okay, have you asked the question why she hasn't submitted the report?
She's looking to find it.
Okay.
And while she's looking, I'd like to make a motion.
Can we have her find the report first before you submit the motion?
It won't happen.
Okay, go ahead and submit your motion.
I move to terminate Artesian Services for 5 months of consecutive failure to meet their contract terms, specifically failure to perform in a timely and competent manner, failure to adhere to the district's process for review, failure to present the bills and invoices and payroll to the board for approval, and failure to adhere to the board resolution in timeliness.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a second by David. Can we have further discussion without spending much time? We have 2 hours to finish this meeting. Just be mindful of it. Beth?
I can tell you for everything that they did this month and for not having power, they did a fantastic job to get all this done for us. I mean, truly, I really thank you guys. I know this was not easy. I know some of you still do not have power, as you shared with us yesterday. This has not been an easy month, and I don't think that blaming them this month and trying to fire somebody for a weather problem is really inappropriate.
David?
No, I'm good.
I don't have any comments.
No.
No?
I do.
Okay, go for it.
Artesian bookkeepers have been failing this district for the past 5 months. This month, they have provided nothing in advance of this meeting, with the unclaimed property deadline passed and the preliminary budget due this meeting. It is not as if they are unaware, because these items were covered in last month's meeting. They have not demonstrated an ability to meet the demands of this district and have failed consistently for the past 5 months. This can be demonstrated with the facts that are recorded in the March through June board packet in the accounting agenda item.
All right, I'll make my comment before we go to the vote. Just want you to know that I disagree completely with your statement. And so, can we take a vote? So all in favor of Linda's motion, we have a second by David.
In
All
favor?
in favor, yeah, of your motion. Okay, all opposed? Motion fails. Unclaimed property, do we have anything?
She's working on it, but I wanted to let y'all know that the balance transferred to Texpool several months ago when they closed the account, and that balance transfer was $248,189.85.
That was on April the 15th.
248, you said?
$248,189.85.
And that went to where? What account?
Texpool.
And when did that get transferred?
April of 2024.
Okay, thank you.
Can we agree to go back to unclaimed property and move on to the engineer's report? Do I? Yeah. Okay. Go on, Jacob.
All right, the first item on my report is the status of the Sunchase Park Playscape. I enjoyed the grand opening, so thought it was very well done. The Texas Accessibility Standard Plan Review has been completed. There were some items that there just wasn't sufficient information on the plans for the reviewer to validate, which was to be expected. There's not a whole lot of detail needed for those plans to be successful. So we're working on coordinating a meeting with that inspector to go visit the site. He'll bring out his little ruler and he'll measure the ADA accessibility of the gravel sidewalk. We don't expect it to have any issues, but if we do, we'll evaluate and figure out how to address or get it re-inspected. So those documents are attached to the board's to the engineer's report for your review. Any questions on that item? Okay. Next item is in regards to the tree maintenance and cleanup on the park. That was done by Davey Tree Experts. We walked the site before the grand opening. We noticed a few other additional items that needed to be cleaned up. Davey brought somebody out that same day. Within the time that we even walked the park, they were there. They did those cleanup items. And so they've submitted their invoice, their pay application. We reviewed it, recommend payment, it matches the contract amount in the amount of $16,500. Copy of that invoice is attached to the engineer's report. So, can I get a board motion on that?
I move that we pay Davey in the amount of $16,500 for the work performed at the Sun Chase Park on 7/10/2024.
I second that.
We have a second. Do you have any discussion on this? Yeah. David, I would like to, I know you're pretty involved with the parks and as well as from you, what was the result of the cleanup? You think we're pretty good? Everything satisfied?
Yeah, I think for the amount of money that this bid was, it was a lot of work that had to be done. There was a little bit of miscommunication, some things that could have been improved. I know that there was one tree that we spoke about being removed and it kind of got messed, communication wasn't perfect. But they did go ahead and take out 2 other trees, so it kind of made up for that miscommunication, which I was okay with, you know. But they did do some underbrush cleaning that they spoke about, and for this amount of work, the scope of work, I think it was very fair. And now the park is safe.
Yeah, I asked a question because I mean the pricing that we compare.
To the other ones?
Yeah,
it's good.
massive.
Yeah,
What kind of
I think
difference
a lot of it, so in the RFP, we asked to have the wood chips mulched in there and spread out. I think David didn't do that. I think it would have taken a whole lot more manpower to actually go ahead and do it than mulch it, throw it in the truck and take it off. But I'm okay with spending 16,000 versus 80 something thousand. So, you know, I think it was, the park is safe, no widow makers. We got, so it's looking good.
I walked it.
Look good?
It looked like 16,500 did.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the one takeaway that I had from that was with the RFP and when someone selected to go out and tag the trees with some tape just to ensure before the work begins that everybody's on the same page, because it's kind of hard to take a picture of a tree within a bunch of trees and
Say, that's the one.
yeah, so just a
Yeah,
little
mental note.
little thing for me to kind of improve that part of the process.
Neon ribbon and just ribbon it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Just literally anything.
Yeah.
To tie a piece of paper to an actual tree.
So we have a motion on the table, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Needs a vote.
Needs a vote.
Vote. Right, all in favor?
So that's 5 yeses, correct?
Yep.
All right. The next item is in regards to your hatch lift station. We were able to connect with the electrical engineer that was hired by Gray Engineering to do the design. I had prepared a punch list that I presented last month to you guys, where I put my electrical engineering hat on and tried my best, but I wanted them to validate all of those items. They went out there and did a site walk, met with the electrical contractor, and validated a lot of the items had been resolved that were on my punch list. So I met with him actually today to kind of go over all of those items. Happy to report that most of the electrical items, if not almost all of the electrical items, are now complete at the hatch lift station. And I've been told most of the civil and mechanical items have been addressed. So I'll be probably going back out there next week to just make sure that everything's done so that the punch list can be complete. So with all that being said, we have a couple remaining items that are paperwork exercises, but I'm hoping that we can present the final payment for the hatch lift station at next month's meeting. One thing that came up this month that I needed to present to you, and I was told that the contractor would be here, but he's not, I don't believe, was the contractor presented a change order for the bypass pricing that he was presented for the shutdown of the lift station during Memorial Day weekend. That was obviously longer than everybody was anticipating. I told him that I would present it to you, but that I don't recommend it because I do believe strongly that bypass pumping was part of their contract and that they chose to handle the bypass of the lift station at their own discretion, means and methods. And they chose to do it the week before a holiday and all kinds of things. So I asked him if he felt this kind of way to come to the board to present his case, but it doesn't look like he made it today. So
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that the district reject the change order requested from Liberty Civil in the amount of $94,000 because the additional pumping expense was a result of the failure of the parts supplier hired by Liberty Civil. That expense should be borne by the parts supplier, not the taxpayers of the district.
So we have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second that.
Seconded by David. Beth?
I'm not going to agree to that until we have some more information.
What information would you like?
We would have to talk about that in executive session.
This doesn't qualify for executive session.
I don't think that we should be billing anybody else right now because we don't have all the facts.
Jacob, can you give her the facts?
well,
Yeah, I think-
you're
I
not.
think if Jacob, if you shed some light into this transaction and see if the change order was a legitimate change order, reasonable change order, common practice of the trade.
Yeah, I mean, the change order wouldn't be you guys billing anyone. It's the contractor asking you guys for more money that's outside of the contract. So the contractor signed an agreement with a equipment supplier. That equipment supplier was solely sourced by Gray Engineering as part of their design because they're the exact same pump manufacturers that the existing pumps were. So that, I guess from Gray's perspective, that was the path of least resistance. So Liberty Civil signed a purchase order to acquire those pumps and controls from that supplier.
And who was the supplier?
Smith and Lovelace. They've been around a very long time. They're used a lot, but they were very delayed in delivering the equipment. And then when the equipment did arrive, there was multiple items that needed repair. And unfortunately for Liberty Civil, they trusted that the equipment would work upon install, and they bypassed the lift station on Tuesday, expecting to be done on Thursday. But when the equipment did not turn on, they had to extend bypass through Memorial Day weekend until next week, until the following week, were they able to be able to get parts. So therefore, they incurred 5 or 6 days worth of pumping and hauling, weekend time, overtime, which is why the amount that they were billed by the pump and hauling contractor was $96,000 or whatever it was.
And who are we asking to pay the $96,000? Did you just put that on the record?
They are asking you to pay them,
Okay.
and I'm saying that you don't need to do that per your contract.
So that was my question. Do you recommend that we pay this?
Nope.
No.
Your contract that Gray Engineering prepared, that Liberty Civil signed, says that bypass pumping of the lift station is included with no additional fees.
Cole, have you had a chance to review the contract?
Cool.
I have, but I've talked with Jacob as well. I always defer to your engineer in these cases, but I believe that this is a cost that should be borne by the contractor.
And to help me understand, it's the subcontractor that's requesting the change order?
No. Liberty Civil is requesting the change order.
Oh, Liberty's, okay. got
They
it.
received a bill,
Which I'm sure they paid,
which I'm sure they paid,
and they're wanting to
Fair
pay
enough.
Smith and Lovelace back
Okay.
and they're, yeah.
via district funds.
I've made my comments and questions. I don't know if you have any.
I do.
Okay.
The change order for $94,000 for additional pumping due to faulty parts from supplier. Liberty Civil should have mitigated their own losses. My oath is to the constituency, not to the contractor. I am sympathetic to the situation, but cannot obligate the people's money because of empathy for a contractor. We have fulfilled our obligation to Liberty Civil under our contract with them, and will certainly pay them the agreed upon amount once the invoice is submitted for payment. And I would like to add that I did have a conversation with Jacob, and we talked about ways this may have been mitigated. And one of the things the Liberty Civil could have done before they took that equipment offline was check those parts, tested them out, done one pump at a time. They could have done things to mitigate their loss. They didn't. They went in there full barrel, and the results are now a $94,000 deficit to them.
Kelly?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with everyone else's comments. This is not an expense that the taxpayers of the district should be bearing. This should have been covered.
I agree. I have one last question to you. How would this affect our relationship with Liberty Civil
For completion.
for completion? Anything contingent to that? If we're coming back and we're telling them, listen, we're not going to eat up the cost, how is that going to affect the completion of the contract?
Obviously, I can't speak for how they will react to the news. Again, I did invite him to come and meet with you in person to make his request. He said he would. That's why I'm here in person.
Right.
He's not here.
Okay.
So how they will react, I don't really care, because you were withholding retainage on the project, 10% of the contract amount, which is substantial money for them to be motivated to finish. The other thing is the punch list items, like I previously reported, are mostly, if not all, done. And so if they did walk the job, one, you have bonds to protect you against that, and you have money in retainage to have somebody else finish it out.
Fair enough. All right, so are we ready to vote? Any other further comments or questions? So can you
Well, maybe a
Restate.
quick comment. I'm just very happy with Jacob's performance and him having the interests of us and our board and our district over other contractors, and he's really fulfilled his obligation, and just very happy with the work that he's performed. So.
I second that
And I-
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I agree. Doing awesome.
Excellent
I think our
contractor.
other contractors do a good job there too.
I will restate the motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I move that the district reject the change order request from Liberty Civil in the amount of $94,000 because the additional pumping expense was a result of the failure of the parts supplier hired by Liberty Civil. That expense should be borne by the parts supplier, not the taxpayers of this district.
So we have a second.
David, second?
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Right, go on.
Okay, item 4D, discuss assessment of the lift station failure. I personally don't have an update on that item this month. Item E, the status of the facility assessment. We've done almost all of the site walks to document conditions of all your facilities. The only thing remaining is walking all of the CMU walls. I'm waiting for a morning that I'm free to do that. As much fun as it is to walk your district in the afternoon, I think I've done my fair share so far. But Maggie's been working on developing that facility assessment and your asset management plan and capital improvement plan. Cole, one note to you, if we could just merge items E and G into one item, they're all being kind of done together. But
Got it, we'll do.
thank you. So we're getting those drafts put together. Our goal is to review the drafts of those documents with the infrastructure committee on August 3rd, I think, whatever day we have scheduled. So we'll go over the drafts of the infrastructure committee, and then we'll bring those drafts and revised documents to the board to help with setting budgets. the status of the lead and copper rule.
Can I just stop you for a second? So, the status of the facilities, you're gonna present us at the infrastructure committee meeting with that. I'm being very mindful with the money that we're spending in this district. You know, I feel like we have to save a lot, you know, we need a nest egg in this district, in my opinion. Is there anything different that you would tell us at the infrastructure committee meeting than you would at the board meeting?
We can not review it at the infrastructure committee, but I can still send out the drafts to the board at that same time frame, so that everybody has time to review it, and then we can discuss it at the.
So my question to the rest of the board members is, in the interest of trying to save as much money, I know we're trying to save money in the meetings, I know we're trying to save money everywhere we can. I would have to go to you, Hanoi, and ask you, is it beneficial to go ahead and meet in an infrastructure committee? Do you feel that we get any different information at the infrastructure committee than we do at the board meeting? Is there a way to save and not meet? Or maybe his recommendation to kind of email the whole board on, here you go, beforehand. I just feel like we really need to save as much as we can, because
my opinion on that is that a two-level review opportunity is always better. And the consistent practice has been, let's go through committee, and then I think fiddling with that might be of a disadvantage to the board in general, but that's my opinion.
Also
I see your point here.
We haven't met. We've met last month and the prior month, but prior to that, it was almost a year.
Right.
And it
worked
worked.
well. Yeah.
Right. So to me, I look at it. Well, it worked for X amount of months. Met two, and I was happy to sit down and meet. Okay, let me make sure and see how this and if there's knowledge and things that we can discuss, then yeah, absolutely, it's an advantage, and I feel like we're getting our money's worth. But having the last two meetings, do I feel like, I think slightly, but do we need it? I don't know. I'm very torn.
Yeah.
I'd like to say.
So I would, maybe we can meet every other month, quarter. I'm not a big fan of, well, that's what was done in the past. This is current. We push the ball forward, and we can do, as we wish. So I just wanted to kind of get everybody's opinion and kind of bring that. It's one of my concerns that I'd like some input on.
Yeah, you can, and then we can, but let's just keep it at 30 seconds, because we
I don't even
have
need that long.
we have a time frame, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when I was on that committee, it was great to be on it, because you could go through the neighborhood and exactly see all the things that need to be done. I don't know who's doing that, which one of you on that committee, but I know that there's still walls that need to be sprayed. I mean, it'll just help you bring it back up. But when I was on that committee, it's just really good to talk about it and to be able to look and review, even if you meet every other month, because a lot of the things that still need to be done, they just haven't been updated yet.
Cool, thanks.
And the roads.
The cost to hold a 1-hour committee meeting with the engineer is approximately $1,000. The committee meeting minutes done by the engineer and not the committee reflect that the engineer is updating the committee on engineering activities with the same information he presents to the full board at these public meetings. And you guys have only met twice in 18 months. So I'm asking the committee, what value does that committee bring to this board? What's the purpose?
Can we let Kelly give an input, and then maybe we can probably leave that. Can we answer that in item I, since we're going to cover infrastructure committee report and maybe move on the agenda? But Kelly, I don't want to leave you out. I don't know if you have any comment about this.
Do we have a motion on the table, or?
No, we do not have a motion.
It's just
Discussion
Okay,
of
so
that.
It's
we
just a
are
discussion.
we're not on the agenda. We're not going to get that by.
Yeah, so if you don't want to make a comment, we can move on.
There are cost-saving measures that can be made that are significant. I don't think cutting committee meetings is a significant source of fiscal responsibility. It's not
I
significant.
have one
All right,
question.
we gotta,
Just one question for you guys to think about. Doesn't have to be answered today.
Go ahead.
But if we don't have an infrastructure meeting every month, then the things that need to be done, does that mean that we get to go directly to him now?
well, let's, I think we gotta move on, so go ahead. Let's.
Sorry.
We need to keep track. No, it's valid, I think your point is valid, so go ahead.
Lead and copper rule, I think we've exhausted almost all administrative desktop measures to validate service line inventory for every service line in the district. We have a couple identified areas. So we're going to call the TCEQ and kind of just talk through exactly what they want to be done. But I do think it's going to lead to us doing some field verification of service line material. Again, we have time that's due in October. So we'll continue to work to do that. Item G, we kind of already talked about that. So item I, my 2 cents on the infrastructure committee. As of lately, there hasn't been a whole lot of new information. So I definitely agree that maybe we don't need to meet every month. I always will welcome, if you guys see something in the district that you want to bring to my attention, just email me, send me a photo, that's totally fine. Yes, it will.
We could get sued over.
I do think that there's value now with the facility assessment, the CIP and asset management plan, but as soon as those are finalized and presented to the board and we're moving past that, I don't think meeting every month is probably in Bill's best interest. I'm totally cool with having a separate meeting, but it's obviously y'all's decision.
And coming up, valid point is we have our budget cycle coming up, so we need to kind of get that in order. So it's just something that popped in my brain. I asked, and just kind of want to get everybody's input.
Okay, so infrastructure committee report. Any report that David, that we need to? And by the way, the meeting, we have meeting minutes written by you guys that clearly reflects the report of our committee meeting, so we can read that on our own as well. So
I don't have anything to report. As Jacob kind of went over everything. The only thing is I'm working on a list to, we have a letter that we'd like to get out to the residents that have trees that are almost touching the CMU walls, that they are in charge of their own maintenance of those trees. And if it becomes a danger or liability or something that can damage the wall, that the district might act to correct that so it doesn't happen, but that's something we've discussed. That's something for the board to vote on, see if we want to send it out. But still working on that list. So.
cool.
And I do have a draft of that letter
Okay.
from Maggie. I need to review it, but I'll get that sent out to you guys in full. See if y'all agree with the language of that letter.
All right, can we move on to the general manager's report?
If you want to scroll down to page 11, it's the executive summary. I restructured it this month to match the agenda to make it flow easier and be easier to run through. So as far as reports on operations for district facilities, streetlight survey was conducted on the 14th of June. And any streetlights have been communicated over to PEC as an issue. I don't think we had any this month. Water accountability has been provided further down for the month of June. I think it was 95% this month. Delinquent letters mailed, we had 116 mailed, 98 tags hung, 2 disconnects made. As far as notable customer requests go, I did send out an email to the full board from a resident who could not make her water bill payment and explain the circumstances surrounding such. And just as an additional note, we did end up pushing disconnects this month due to Central Bank alerting us that they could not account for payments in the Houston area to be able to show what had or had not posted. So in order to account for payments adequately and ensure that the payments received were not bounced back, we waited until July 15th to perform cuts. I sent that email to the board for consideration, and I did alert that resident that we would have the board discuss and determine how you would like to move forward with that account, and I would provide her with an update tomorrow.
And you said you sent that email when, Mackenzie? I was out of the country, so.
Sorry, let me go back and look. It was about a week ago, I believe, last week. It would have been on the 10th or 11th, I believe,
Who'd you send it to?
the full board. Oh, no, here.
So you did tell her?
No, we did not. We let her know that we would let the board make a decision. I'm sorry, y'all, I have it in my outbox. I will forward it to you right now.
Yeah, I
I don't
didn't see
know.
anything.
I'm not sure why it didn't go through. It could be because she attached some pictures. Here, I will send it to you right now. Hopefully it'll go through. I'm going to reduce the size of these pictures really quick because I think that's part of the problem. I just sent it. You have to catch it.
Thank you.
I realized likely why it was on an old email chain that had a lot of additional correspondence with pictures, so I think that that's why. But that is the email we received.
This should be on the board, in the board packet.
The reason I didn't include this in the board packet is because it comes directly from a resident. I didn't want to post it to the website until the board could have a chance to chat about it, and I wanted to mark it confidential. There's pictures included that don't need to be posted.
The website is secured to the board.
The Google Drive is correct.
Right. That's where this stuff goes.
Well, I was under the impression I emailed it to you for consideration, and it was sitting in my outbox because it was over 30 megabytes.
Okay, can you move on with your report? Thank you.
Sure can. This item I included, you approved it last month. I just wanted it noted in board packet since it was an item we received after the packet was created. You all already approved the repair for the 360 slide, which is why I also underlined it, but also included the quote so you would have that from Park Protec. But you all did approve that at last month's meeting, but I wanted to include it just for record's sake. We didn't have it in time for your meeting last month. Status of the repair for El Salito. The only reason I left this on here from last month is because it's still an agenda item. So Cole, if you could remove it for now. I don't think there's any other action items. I think the infrastructure committee is going to take a look at the sign and try to determine what they want to do with it from there. But as far as the letter attachment goes, Southwest Monument completed that at no charge to the district. As far as Park Protec's replacement efforts, they did let me know, obviously, about the 360 slide. The original supplier for parts that they utilized no longer services the Cedar Park area. They have since moved on to an additional company. Dustin did reach out to me on Monday of this week and let me know that he has more or less been bird dogging them and is expecting a quote this week. Once we receive that, it will go to the Parks Committee. The UEI number was finally approved by SAM.gov for your FEMA reimbursement. I have confirmed with FEMA all paperwork is complete. There is now an additional meeting to more or less ensure that the district is prepared for events like this moving forward that I'll have to attend and provide a district audit for, and a few other documents, likely your budget, just for them to understand how the district works. I've had to do this for one other district, so I am familiar with the next step. So that's where we are with that. As far as an update on the illicit discharge, the letter provided to the resident is provided further below in the packet. In conjunction with that, item 2 under item F in the executive summary was for an amendment to the rules and regulations to include something with the intent of explaining why pool water is not to go down. The drains and the inlets within the district, instead of giving you all the entire rules and regs, which is quite long, we provided page 21 of that, which shows paragraph 7.03, and then the page below that you'll find is the amended paragraph. Director Fabre has added additional comments to add a paragraph for pool maintenance and how to safely dispose of water. So if anybody else would like to add to the current proposed amendment, obviously, by all means.
So
It was written well, thank you.
Thank you.
the address, I thought it was Dayflower, not Spider Lily.
No, I confirmed in the email.
It was
Spider
Spider
Lily.
Lily? Really? Why am I thinking Dayflower?
It says Dayflower in the minutes.
It might need to be corrected then, because I went back to the resident's email with the pictures to confirm it.
Okay.
Where is the resident's email and the pictures and the testing of the water?
There was no testing performed on the water. When the email was received, the water was no longer there. We received the email, I believe, over the weekend, and it was in their backyard. So I did as the board directed, and we sent a friendly and informative letter. I have not heard back from the resident, but I do have a follow-up scheduled for Friday of this week. It was sent on 6/28.
It's not friendly when you instruct somebody to cease immediately.
I disagree.
It's a legal term.
You can disagree, but that's not a friendly letter. And I would like to see the complaint and the photos, please.
I can provide that.
And this is not
Well,
a complete list of
Give me 1 second.
options.
I have my concern here that none of this stuff was asked at our last meeting. It was clear that to me that we were directing Infomark to go beyond, you're asking Infomark to go beyond what we requested at our last meeting. I mean, I've never heard of pictures and testing, never heard of any of that.
You can't claim it's an illicit discharge if you don't know that the pool water wasn't dechlorinated. If it's regular water, you can run that on your ground.
But
You
we
can
did
run-
agree and voted on the fact that Infomark would write an informative letter, so I don't know why are we...
The letter is not only not accurate, because that is not all the steps that can be done to get rid of, in this case, well, if it's not Spider Lily,
It is.
I mean, if it's not Dayflower, which is
So-
where I thought this was.
So that address doesn't come up on Google.
It's 1602.
Yeah, it says
Yeah, there's a
14602.
Yeah, there's a typo. I just
Okay.
double checked the email. It is 1602. And I will send you the email we received on June 3rd from the
Has
resident.
everybody read the letter? It really is very well written.
And I didn't say these are all of your options. I said we have provided some options below.
They just need, it's just a nice letter letting them know what someone said and what is happening they probably don't even know, so it's fine.
Okay, so is there a reason to further discuss, I mean, the letter has been sent out.
Yeah.
So what are you proposing?
I'm proposing that in the future that this board review the stuff that goes out, because that is incomplete. That does not describe how to treat that water and use it
Yeah, but-
to irrigate your grass. There's many other ways to do it. I attached Cedar Park's description of how to deal with swimming pool, spa water as a reference. And this to me was an absolutely deplorable letter. It was strong-arming is what it was. You had no evidence that that was chlorinated water or an illicit discharge, and you didn't file the report.
I specified that the source of the water was unknown. in the
Mackenzie, I
letters.
think the letter
It's in
is
the
well
second
written,
sentence.
and we apologize for not giving you the clear directives prior to writing the letter. So thank you for informing our resident and getting an informative letter out. I don't think your letter is deplorable in any way, shape, or form. I think it informs the basic with the information we have, and that's my opinion. Kelly?
Yeah, the letter's fine. It's not deplorable, that's an awfully harsh term. We voted on this last month. It's clear there wasn't a discharge of water. The neighbor complained about it. We didn't deal with it as a deed enforcement issue. This is the way we voted to go. A letter that contains suggestions and threatens nothing cannot be seen as strong-arming. We're not strong-arming them into any action except to stop doing that, stop annoying their neighbors, and hopefully not to, to do that again.
We're not finding them, we're not doing.
We're not fine. It's just a letter, an informative letter, and it's not our job to provide every option in the world. Mackenzie provided 4 good options for these people that are probably, correct me if I'm wrong, the most common
Yes.
ways that people deal with that issue. So thank you for the letter.
Okay, can we move on to the next?
Please.
Keep going with your report. Thank you.
That is the end of our report. I have nothing to cover unless you guys have any questions regarding the billing information and usage.
I have questions.
All right, so, so you concluded your report. Now, are your questions regarding a specific agenda item?
Yes.
Which agenda item?
5B.
5B. Okay, go ahead.
I would like to get an update on the Sunchase Park light that's laying on the ground. Has a pole been put in place and the light reattached?
No, we've requested a quote from M&C to do that. I don't believe that I'm going to approve it outside of a meeting. I'm just going to bring it back for approval.
Which
They were-
light is this?
The one that I had to take off of the tree in Sunchase, and you had suggested
yeah.
putting it up on a pole. M&C was going to come out, and they actually ended up sending their crews to Houston to assist. So I think they were just a little delayed, but I did request an update, and I believe they will provide us a quote before your next meeting.
And I would like an update on the hazardous waste pickup. When does it start? I haven't seen any notices to residents.
I believe Paul.
It was not on the water bill.
I believe Paul is supposed to get back with Cole on language of an amendment that the board can approve and Cole can review before you can accept the program. You have to accept it as an amendment to your waste management agreement. So Cole and I reached out to Paul with Waste Management to ask if they could draft an amendment that the board could consider to include the program, and I don't think he has responded, Cole, correct?
He responded and said that he is drafting something and that they have common amendments that they attach to other agreements and that he would send it to us, and we're just waiting for him to draft it and send it to us.
Okay, excellent.
And my last question is, you have not provided me with a response to the arrears report from last month and the 80 accounts that have $0 on deposit. This work is covered in your base fee, which includes customer billing.
I will double check that.
Great. Moving on to committee assignments and reports. Let's be mindful that we have 30 minutes left of this meeting. So let's go ahead and quickly go over committee assignments and report, including park committee.
We have approved the slide repair at Andersonville West, right, Mackenzie? So we don't need to address that. The grand opening party for the Sunchase Park was on Saturday, the 29th.
That's great.
I think it went great. Joe McDermott was amazing.
Thank you.
It was a
Thank you for the
really fun
recommendation.
afternoon.
I have another district considering him for their park opening now.
Oh, really?
He was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The families,
$800 for 2 hours on Saturday is not bad money.
Order.
That's true.
anyway, and I just wanted to quickly reassure any members of the public who are afraid that because 4 members of the board were there constituting a quorum, I wanted to reassure the members of the public that we did not do any deliberations. There were no discussions of board business, and the board members are clearly allowed informal or social meetings, and that's on page 21 of the 2024 Open Meetings Handbook on the Attorney General site. And other than that, I don't have anything on parks. Oh, we did have an email today from a resident who
Did you see that?
caught his hand on something, one of the transfer stations, and so we're gonna get on that and make sure that we don't have any of those little
I included Scott and Tracy on that one, so hopefully they'll see
I
it.
saw Scott walking out of the office and I said, you better have your metal file and go over to the park.
That's
But you
right.
better have paint too, because he's gonna have to repaint it or it'll rust.
That's right, so we will get on that and make sure that that little, that's addressed, and hopefully there are no others, but if there are, we can address them. And other than that, I don't have anything on parks.
Right. Deed Restriction Committee, Kelly, you on.
We had 2 complaints this month. One on Burning Drive, and these are on the spreadsheet, and that's in Hunter's Glen too. Someone complaining that his neighbor is running a landscaping business out of his home, and that every weekday morning, his employees, I guess, come and meet him in the cul-de-sac, and this is annoying the neighbor. And we kind of wanted to get Cole's input on that. The committee didn't really think we have jurisdiction over what happens in the cul-de-sac, but Cole, do you have any advice for us on that?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I heard advice on a cul-de-sac.
Could you let us know if this person's complaint is that a person's employees are meeting them in the cul-de-sac in the morning, and there's a lot of trucks and activity in the cul-de-sac? Is that something that the MUD board can get involved in?
I'm assuming the road is a public roadway.
Yes.
I don't think, if the road's a public roadway, you can't really restrict who parks on the road, or if there are contractors or employees going onto the road.
Now, Cole, I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
Do we have anything else
But
on that?
Kelly,
I don't think we
just
haven't finished.
before Beth gives me that question, Kelly, if you wouldn't mind forwarding that email to me, I can just take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
And let me just get to the one more item on that we had one more complaint about overgrown grass over on Sycamore Trail. I did drive by there and take a picture, and I put that in the board folder, and it's the opinion of the committee that there's nothing there that is affecting the taxable value of the district. And you guys can take a look at that yourselves and tell us whether you agree, but it's not our intention to move forward with a letter or anything on that.
It looks pretty clear.
Okay. Beth, go ahead.
So the past 2 lawyers that we had, Cole, you're not allowed to run a business out of your home. And so the letters have gone out in the past. If you want to look back on past letters for people for trucks and stuff, and people's driveways are on the street, that is not allowed in the community. And we're not, if you look at, we used to have signs in the neighborhood that you couldn't even drive big trucks through the neighborhood. So those have been taken down in the past 4 or 5 years. But if you can review that and we can talk about it again next month, that would be fantastic.
Sure. The question I heard was whether there was any restriction on cars in a cul-de-sac, and I said no, because it's public roads.
It's not
You have
cars
to
though,
look at the
these are
specific-
people's work trucks.
Yeah, that's her question, is that it's work trucks. Well, yes, it's cars. These are, I guess, cars, are they labeled with like company logos on the side?
Kelly?
No?
Don't know.
Okay, that's what we need to know.
I don't think the issue is whether
Wouldn't matter.
cars can be parked on a street. The issue is whether there's a commercial business being run out of a private residence of a single-family home. That's where you'd have to look to the deed restrictions and see, is this area restricted to single-family home usage, or does it allow for commercial business usage? That to me seems like the question that
Yes.
would be the better question to ask.
If you could do that, that would be great, because that's what we've done in the past, is protected the neighbors that have that rule in their neighborhood, that you cannot have businesses out of their homes or trucks on the street that belong to a business.
Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
If somebody's living in that home and meeting their employees, at his house for breakfast on a Saturday, before they get out and start their landscaping day, there's nothing that prevents that, right? As long as somebody's living in that home, there's nothing in the deed that
Yeah.
prevents commercial business run out of your home, not even in Hunter's Glen too.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the only way to prove whether a business is being run out of a home is when you search the business name, and if the address pops up is that home's address. Then you can say your business is tied to your home. That's the proof that you have. But if someone lives in a home and they have employees, whether it's employees or friends coming over for breakfast in your hypothetical, there's not really anything one can do to restrict that, at least in my opinion. I mean, I think the way to prove that there's a business being run out of a home is if you pull that business's records and the address is the home address.
Again, I will just say that the past 2 lawyers before did not allow the trucks in the neighborhood. But if you want to go back and look at that, that would be fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Sure, I will.
Let's move on. Anything else, Kelly?
No.
No? Okay. And we didn't get, I don't recall when we met, we didn't get any name of the actual truck, right? Where we can kind of see if the business is connected, if I were to go to the Secretary of State, is connected to that specific address.
I just have a person's name, and it just says landscaping business, but you guys, I will confess something that I'm not too proud of right now, but when I used to live in the district in HG2, someone opened a daycare behind me. They were on Brighton Bend, and kids screaming in the backyard suddenly, constantly, from 7 to 5 all day. And because that was in the Lakeline Oaks HOA, I actually came to a Lakeline Oaks HOA meeting to complain about these people running a business from their home. And at that time, the Lakeline Oaks board of the HOA got very uncomfortable, and they said, we just lost a court case against someone running a business out of their house because our attorney advised us we cannot win this because so many people are running businesses from their home. You probably 90%, if you knock on all these doors, someone has a business that they're running from their home. The main question is their business becoming a nuisance to their neighbors? Now, this person on Bernie may be a nuisance to his neighbors, but in the way that he is becoming a nuisance by having his contractors meet him in the cul-de-sac, I'm not sure that that's actionable. And that's where I am on this issue. It's very, very tricky. We cannot ban people from running a business in their house. We can tell people not to annoy
Depends on
their
what
neighbors.
section they live in.
Yeah, can we move on? I mean, we've spent so much time talking about this. It's very sticky, very complex. Let's move on, and then maybe put that on the next agenda item. Do you agree? And I know you wanted to verbalize something, but
Next month.
okay, thank you, sir. All right, go ahead and Information Management Committee. We don't have anything on that.
I'd like to make a
We're
motion,
working on it.
please.
We are working on that.
I'd like
Okay.
to make a
And
motion.
it's
we've gotten a little bit of some stuff done, but we need to do more.
Okay, a motion related to which agenda item?
See where we are?
Okay, go ahead, go for it.
I move that we replace the committee of Hanoi and Beth because they have not made the necessary changes to the website to make sure it's functioning properly or in line with state law for the 18 months they have been on this committee. I need a second.
And so you're asking to
replace.
Hanoi and
You
Beth
and
to
Beth
be
are on
replaced.
that committee.
Okay, all right. Do we have a second?
Do you, is there any particular, in the motion, who you want to replace them with?
Oh, that would be a separate
Separate
motion.
motion? I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a second. Discussion.
We're doing what we're working on right now, so.
Okay. David?
No, I was just wondering who the replacement would be.
Okay.
The current committee has done nothing to correct the errors and omissions on the website since they were put onto the committee over a year ago. The amount of misinformation or missing information is alarming and grows each month because there has been no oversight into the contractor responsible for our web presence and no follow-up to ensure that our published information is accurate. I have repeatedly asked for the corrections to the website and the reservation system, and nothing has been done. For that reason, it's time to put this website to work for the district and that can only happen with a committee that is committed to its excellence. Examples of the lingering mistakes. Restrictive covenants not enforced is still not published. The 2023 audit is not published. The audit report for 2022 is a draft, not the final report. The board packet material is incomplete, and the homepage refers to the Hatch lift station as nearing completion, to name just a few of the problems with this website. There are legal requirements if we have a website that must be met, or we can't have it, and those requirements are not being met. Cole, what are the ramifications for our website being out of compliance with state law?
You'll probably get, there'd probably be some sort of violation that you all would get. To be completely honest with you, I've never had a district not be in compliance because they have typically have website managers who ensure that they are in compliance. So I'm guessing it would be some sort of, first you'd probably get a letter stating you're out of compliance and you need to address these issues within X amount of days or you're subject to civil penalties. But yeah, I mean, regardless of what the penalty could be, it's very important that these districts, or that every MUD who has a website be current with the information that needs to be on the website. Because not only do residents or the general public look at these items, but also there are regulatory agencies out there that scan occasionally and do look. And to be completely honest with you all, MUDs over the past, 6 years or so, they're not the most favorable entity in the state, so there's a lot of scrutiny and people do look at them. So it is very important to maintain updated websites that are current with legislation and rules.
Thank you.
Coles, I have a question. Have you looked at our website, and is there anything there that concerns you that it's incorrect or misinformation that would put us at a position, at a legal risk?
I'm pulling up your website right now. I'd have to see district business documents, rate order. You've got the rate order, and Bill of Rights. Do you have tax information? I don't see the district. Oh, you do have the district audit up there. I would have to pull.
We do not have a current last audit.
We need 2023 still up there. We've already talked about that.
Actually, this is the budget. I don't see any audit on the website.
We were just talking about.
All right, well, I'm not asking you to look at all that. I'm sure Hanoi doesn't want you to spend the next 30 minutes looking at the whole entire website.
I agree. I just want to make sure that if there's any red flags that would definitely need to be tackled. But Kelly, any?
So it's a correct statement to say that not much has happened on the website.
It's something that we've been starting to work on, yes.
But do you guys have a plan, or is that going to be rectified? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree with Linda's statement here. We haven't met much. I don't have a problem assigning somebody else to this committee that could dedicate the time and bring it up to date. I'll be happy to support that if we have somebody that's really passionate and has the time to update the website. That's my take. If we don't have anybody, then we would have to commit and come up with some creative ways alongside Infomart to get at least the basic to be in compliance. But I'll be happy to support anybody else that wants to take on the role of doing a better job than I personally have done, because I'm involved in other committees. So that's my honest answer.
Can we get a vote?
What was the motion again? Sorry.
Replace the committee of Hanoi and Beth because they have not made the necessary changes to the website to make sure it's functioning properly or in line with the state law for the 18 months that they have been on this committee.
Now, I do have an issue with that motion, and of course, you can submit your motion. You know, I don't know what Beth takes is on it. She might still want to be there, and if she wants to be there and work with somebody else, we're limited in the amount of work that we can do. So I just don't see it being fair to get rid of Beth without giving her an opportunity to decide, do you want to be part of this committee?
Well, it's something that you and I just talked about doing, so I'm fine following through with what we were talking about. getting done.
That's not this motion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying your motion, it's blank point removing both of us.
Right.
Okay. I'm not approving, I'm not voting in favor of that. If
Okay, we'll
both
take
of us
the
are
vote.
removed. Sure. Okay, so we have a second. So are you willing to amend your motion or no?
You want me to include the replacements in the motion? People who have time to work on it?
I think that would be a
You
wise
think that-
motion to do.
Okay, all right, I can do that. So let's see, blah, 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 blah. Replace the existing members with me and David. As you said, somebody who has time and is dedicated, and I think that speaks volumes for me and David.
That was replaced with Linda and David, correct? I heard that
Yes.
correct? Okay, thanks.
Give me a chance. See what, month, two, see what happens. You can always, look, you can always change it if you're not happy.
Well, I think I was transparent and honest about what has taken place. I can't deny the fact. I think I wouldn't support a motion like that because it includes somebody else that hasn't verbalized whether or not she wants to continue in this committee. But anyhow, I'm not gonna entertain this further. Submit your motion and.
I did.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I did, David seconded.
Yes, David seconded to remove Hanoi and Beth. All right, so.
And replace with,
And replace with David and Linda.
right.
So let's vote. Who's in favor of that motion? Okay. Motion fails.
Are you guys a no?
Yes, I'm a no.
You a no?
No.
You're a no?
No. Okay, next one.
Okay, review committee assignments and create working committees as needed. I think we're done with that. Old business, including so item A, discuss account status and repair by the property owner of Black Sherry Drive.
We don't have an update on that, do we?
No.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay, B.
Can I make a motion that we put 7B and, what did I say? And 8D together, because they kind of go together. That would help us get through them all.
7B and say 7D?
No,
Okay.
7B and 8D.
And 8D, okay, thank you for
Yes.
the
Involves the
clarification.
same type of people.
Okay, I don't have any problem with that. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay, we have a second. Do we need discussion about this, or should we just?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like our constable to be able to, are you out there? I would love to be able to make a motion to have him be able to speak on this as well on our schedules, but also discussing nighttime security and the changes that we've had in our neighborhood. I think that it would be great if he could share that things are not going as well since we lost our security from 10 at night to 4 in the morning. So that's just what I'm proposing. So.
Constable Stinson? You want to speak to the board?
Yes. As we know from this weekend, how the lack of or inadequate security causes a lot of negativity, chaos, and destruction and whatnot. And I think having a blanket of security in this district, I think a lot of the people are in favor of that. And I've talked to people myself about it. And I think that having security here would also minimize a lot of the vagrant things going on, a lot of the criminal things that are going on, because just being a deterrent stops guys from, people, I'm not gonna say guys, people from doing things that they were gonna do that was wrong. So my proposal, my thoughts is having security out here in the district is a positive thing.
Do you feel like it deterred some when we had it before?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
What happened this weekend? What happened this weekend?
The thing with the Trump, I'm talking about security.
Oh,
Security.
well, that doesn't happen in our neighborhood.
Oh, but we do have a lot of burglary that we didn't have before. And we also have a lot of children moving into this neighborhood, and we are having break-ins during the day and at night.
It's not reported. It's not
I
reported.
had somebody try to break in my house at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to open the door, so it happens.
Oh, I'm not
It's getting worse.
suggesting it doesn't, but
It's getting much worse.
you'll see in the board packet, Constable Stenson gave me a 3-month look at all of the reported incidents in this neighborhood. And if you look at them, he says I asked him today, what could a roving patrol handle in that list of offenses? And what did you tell me? Mischief and traffic accidents with no injuries. There were 9 traffic accidents with no injuries in a period of 3 months, and there was 1 complaint of mischief. Everything else cannot be handled by a roving security patrol.
Our neighborhood wants the security.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the agenda. So we have 7B, 7, and 8D.
So we're on 7B first, right?
Right. Now, you've proposed to bring these together, Beth. Do you have, because I don't have a motion on the table.
I'll put a motion on the table.
Yeah, go ahead and put the motion on the table. Let's discuss, and then we eliminate item B and D as you propose to bring them together, correct?
Yes, I would like to be able to make a proposal to keep our constable summer hours as the same as what we have been doing presently. I also would like to do 8D on keeping and reinstating our nighttime security patrols from 10 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning to make our neighborhood feel safe and more secure.
You
Okay.
have 2 proposals in your agenda for nighttime patrols.
Excellent. So do we have a second?
I second that.
Okay, we have a second. And now let's continue discussion, and we're going to do that this way. So Beth.
I can tell you that in my neighborhood, we have a lot of little children. They've asked, why have our police officers not been in the neighborhood anymore? I've been very honest. That part of the board wanted them to be removed. I have said that it's coming up again for us to bring it back, and that I would do everything that I could to be able to make our neighborhood feel safe and secure once again.
Excellent. David.
You said officers removed? Is that what you said?
We used to have nighttime from 10 at night.
Officers?
Or we had,
Officers?
not an officer, we had a patrol car
Okay,
coming
you said
through
officer.
that makes people
Okay.
feel secure.
I'm just trying to get clear. You said officer, I was confused. So
Okay.
you're talking about nighttime
10.
patrol?
Yes.
And the kids were asking you
No,
where?
families.
Oh, okay, because I thought I heard kids. Okay, so families are asking you where they went. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to make sense of it. I
That's
was a
fine,
little
David.
confused. Okay.
Okay.
So, wait, I was just,
Go ahead.
so I guess we did have the patrol, and do we have data on that there was crime or there was deterrent? Or, if I remember correctly, we didn't have any data from the previous security company that there was any activity that was going on in the neighborhood. If anybody
There
remembers?
was nothing.
Okay. To me, it's not the responsibility of the MUD to do security. I feel that we are stepping over our authority and becoming a bigger government than we should. That's why we elect sheriffs. I think that it's up to us, the citizens, that if we're not happy with the patrol that the sheriff is doing, speak to the sheriff. Vote for the right sheriff to come and.
We don't have one.
Excuse me, point of order. We don't have a sheriff.
Beth, let him.
Order.
We don't have a sheriff. Okay. But I think that it's up to us to vote for the right sheriff. If he's not patrolling in our area, we need to speak to the sheriff and say, hey, we need more patrol here. I don't think it's the MUD's position to be security. We're here for water, wastewater. We already determined why we're here. You know, we can do deed restriction based on property value. So I think what we're stretching our authority and we're becoming bigger government. We're giving ourselves the authority, and I don't think we should. Yes, I believe safety is important, but you know, there's other means. Get an alarm system, get a pistol, get some training, get an attack dog. I have 4 dogs, 5 dogs, 6 dogs, 7 dogs to protect me if I don't feel safe. I have 20 guns if I don't feel safe. There's other means to this. I just don't think that it's much authority or place to spend the tax dollar when we don't have a reserve for our infrastructure. That's, to me, the most important part is our infrastructure. So I don't think we should be wasting money. It's not a waste, but I don't think we should go down that route.
Linda, I think you spoke on this issue already, right?
No.
You made a comment?
I have
on this?
not, no, I haven't.
Okay. We have 5 minutes left, so go ahead and just be mindful of that. Go ahead.
Okay. In the board packet, you'll see the time accounting records for our 2 constables. I was able to obtain their Wilco timesheets to compare with the MUD timesheets. The Wilco report has yellow highlights on days where from 8 to 9 a.m. the constables are billing both governments. Wilco and the MUD are paying for that same hour of work. To grasp the magnitude double billing, consider the cost to the district for a constable and vehicle at $78 an hour. An additional 4 hours per week for a full year is $16,000 a year. That's what we paid to clean out Sunchase Park. That's enough to power wash the walls, trim up more trees, and top dress mulch in the parks. I met with Constable Stenson about this discrepancy, and he explained that the former constable that he replaced provided him with the instruction on how to account for time in the district, so that's why they have been doing it. He's agreed to record only actual hours worked going forward. The constables report to their work at 8 a.m. every morning, so their constable patrol hours should be from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. That covers what they can do for this district. The constables are retained to patrol the district and be a deterrent to crime. During the school year, they have been asked to be visible in the elementary school zones to deter speeding. They have full-time jobs with a report for duty at 8 a.m. So this has been going on for years, 8 since I've been looking. It's a considerable amount of money. And I do agree that they are deterrents in the district when they're patrolling. But the crime report that Constable Stinson gave me has crime only in this neighborhood recorded for the last 3 months between the hours of 9 in the morning and 6 p.m. at night. There has been 0 reports after 6 p.m. at night. So I don't know, there's a whole lot of stuff that gets said up here, but there is no evidence to back it up. If somebody tried to break in my house, I'd call the police. It would be on that report unless it happened after the end of June. This report only goes till June. There's no reporting of anything like that happening. It just doesn't exist.
So you're going against what he's asking.
Go ahead and,
I'm telling you that there is no data to support a need for 10 to 4 a.m. patrols in this district. We tried that, and they literally had 0 incidents for the entire time they worked here. And you can see it because they submitted reports every month.
Kelly.
So this was actually my agenda item, and I brought it up because, it's pretty clear if you are on Nextdoor or any of the socials that car prowls have become endemic. And there have been vehicles stolen right off Old Mill. There was one right across the street from the district building. And it is true that the prior patrol, never caught anyone in the act or, had an incident to report, that you cannot understate the importance of deterrence, and that's where I'm with Stinson right now. I think it's important to give the residents of this district more security. The county, I think I've heard once that the county has 7 traffic officers for the Williamson County, and I know, of course, some is in Travis, but the takeaway is that Williamson County does not have enough presence to be able to devote to the district. And so I think that's part of us being a good government and providing what the people are asking for, which would be to reinstate the overnight patrols on the weekends.
Kelly, we have reached our 2 hours.
Can I
and I
do
know
that?
this is your agenda item. And so if you want to extend, I'll be glad to second that motion. If not, then I would have to call to adjourn the meeting. 2
I
hours.
move we extend the meeting to complete this agenda item.
Okay. All right, I'll second that.
I want to add that I just pulled up some of the old invoices and there is no spot for them to put reportable items. So I don't know if there was a separate report that was blank, but the information I have does not list an area for them to notate issues. And I believe you used to check their timesheets and then send them in for approval. Yes.
So is it to extend to cover this agenda item? And
Yes,
then
for now.
call it in. Okay. All right, so we have a second. Can we vote on this?
Who was the second?
I'm the second.
You?
Yep. Okay, all in favor to extend?
No, I'm not in favor.
Okay, go ahead.
4 yeses?
Yes.
4 yeses, yeah.
So I move that we re-implement weekend nighttime patrols. I propose that we accept the proposal by Ranger Guard that is
Sorry.
in the folder.
There's a motion already on the
Yeah,
table.
that is
Was
correct.
there?
There's a motion
Yeah.
on the table. So
Oh.
do we want to go ahead and first get your
Kind of the
motion?
same as
Can,
what I said.
I
what
was
you
gonna
just
say,
said.
Cole needed you to restate yours anyways. Do you wanna
Let Kelly-
withdraw and then let Kelly?
That's fine, Kelly, because you were almost saying the same thing, so please go ahead.
So go ahead and withdraw your motion,
I withdraw my motion.
and then go ahead, Kelly.
I move that we reinstitute overnight weekend patrols by accepting the proposal from Ranger Guard Security Services that can be found in your board packet.
From 10 PM to 4 AM.
10 to 4 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, correct?
Something, is that correct?
Those are the days they used to work correct?
And then to also be able to keep his hours that he's working presently.
Do we want to do those together? And to keep the
I got it, hold
constable.
on.
Which are? Give me the hours.
You all have the right to say the hours, but typically that's something most districts, you can talk about in executive session, because you don't typically like to release the hours of security to the general public, because that essentially is telling criminals what hours not to commit crimes.
I doubt they're watching Cole. Nice try.
In addition to that, their invoices show their hours, and those are public documents.
So that don't hold water, Cole. What are the constable's hours?
He just said not to say.
So I have a motion by Masters to reinstitute the weekend patrols by accepting the Ranger Guard Security Service contract and
To maintain the current constable patrol hours. Schedule.
To maintain current constable patrol schedule.
Okay, do we have a
thank
second?
you very much.
I'll second that.
Beth
Second
seconds.
motion.
Beth seconded.
Thank you.
What are the constable's current hours?
We're not gonna talk, Cole just advised us not to
It's
announce that.
published. It's published.
Please don't, Cole.
Okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. There's not going to be a change to the motion. Let's go open for discussion and then vote. We've already discussed?
Yes.
I just wish that it would be separate, the motion. I think it's two separate
It's two separate problems.
items,
But
so.
you, I think because you voted to bring the items
Because,
together.
right, I know, but when
Can we
it
vote?
comes to the record and the public record and the vote, I think, I could vote for one but not the other, and to me, I feel a little strong-armed that I have to vote no for both because they're attached, so that's why I would have preferred them to be separate, so at least I can vote separately on two separate issues.
So motion by Kelly, second by Beth. We're ready to vote. All in favor? Okay, 3 yes, and motion passes.
Constable Stinson, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday night hours, do you agree with those? And
Yes.
okay.
Because we don't have crime Monday through Thursday?
Okay, so should I go ahead and call to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
All right, I call that we adjourn this meeting.
Whoa, please, you all,
You have to do your
can adjourn
election.
it.
Huh?
You all have to adopt these director's election documents
Oh,
and
that's right.
or
In order to be
and
in
the election
compliance.
services agreement with Travis County.
That's easy, just.
All right, well, then we need an extension, a motion to extend.
For 4 minutes.
Somebody, we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we.
And on the past motion, I know I heard David's discussion. David, and I know Linda voted no.
Yeah,
David,
we need
did you
a
vote no as
motion
well?
first
he
to
did.
extend the
He
time.
did.
We haven't
Okay,
extended the
thanks.
I put
time.
it-
He's trying to get the vote from the last motion. David and I voted no. Kelly, Hanoi,
Correct.
and Beth
Can I,
voted
can I
yes.
vote, can I abstain?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'd rather abstain because
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Motion.
rather abstain too, because together they don't
they
work.
don't make sense.
Okay, so Linda and David are both abstentions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I,
Beth made a motion to extend the meeting, seconded by, anybody?
But we
4
haven't,
minutes.
you haven't submitted the motion. Like, how long do you,
I said 4 minutes.
She said 4 minutes.
okay, 4 minutes. All right, so I'll second that.
All in favor? Yes, okay.
Not
Go
me.
ahead.
I'm not in
Polls.
favor.
Do it in 4 minutes.
Not that long, is it?
All right, Cole, you
I
got 4
know.
minutes.
Okay, I can be very fast. If you go to the
Attorney General.
Attorneys.
I'll get the motion from you. I'll get the motion and the votes. If you go to the attorney's report, the 2024 director's election, you'll see there's an order calling director's election as well as an agreement for a joint election with Travis County. I'm asking you all to adopt the order calling the director's election and also to approve the joint election agreement with Travis County. This ensures that you all as a district do not have to hire election judges and hire machinery. You have Travis County to be the election provider. Once Travis County gets all the entities that it works with, it produces a quote. I can pull whatever the last one was that you all did with Travis County, but they're typically fairly minimal. Also in your packet, let me see, I'm going to read the agenda first and I'll look at the packet. A resolution adopting rules for electronic submission of bids. This is something that we put on all of our agendas for our MUDs. You all don't, if you want to think about this more or talk with your engineer, I don't have an issue. There's no urgency with this. But it's allowing your engineer to accept electronic bids from contractors. You all as a district are a mature district, so you don't really receive a lot of bids on a regular basis. So it's not super necessary, but it does make it easier for your engineer in terms of the bidding process. Again, you can defer that. That's not urgent. No update regarding the annexation of Anderson Mill Road. Like I mentioned at the last meeting, they were going to put into their discussion the responsibilities of maintaining all the landscaping on behalf of the district. They said it shouldn't be an issue, but she's running it by the city manager. Last item is at the last month's meeting, you all voted to appoint Hanoi as president, and Linda is still as her role as treasurer. I didn't know if you all wanted to formally appoint, I don't know if you want to have a vice president, because currently you don't have a vice president. If you want to reconstitute the board, and then also authorize our office to file the district registration form with the TCEQ. That was fast. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you.
Do you want to start with the first one? Election.
Yeah, elections, so I need a motion for elections.
Motion to adopt the election resolution, right, Cole?
Motion to adopt the order calling.
The election.
I move we adopt the order calling the election.
We have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Beth. Can we vote?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Any other item that
Okay,
needs to be?
Yes,
thank you very much.
the next one was the bids, but y'all can postpone. And then the last one was reconstitution.
Yeah, we can
Well,
postpone.
actually, let's do the joint election agreement with
Oh.
Travis County. you'll see an election services agreement, a joint election agreement, and then there's also something called the new equipment adoption order. I don't believe the district needs to do the new equipment adoption order, but we have it for you all. We're going to hold it until we get confirmation from Travis County that you all don't need to submit that, but we have it for execution for tonight.
It's not on
anyway,
our
just
agenda.
because.
It's not on our agenda, Cole.
So
Cole, it's not on the agenda.
it's part of the joint election agreement that Travis County sent with us.
We don't have a joint election agreement on our agenda.
It's on 9A.
Yeah.
Second.
Oh, I apologize. It is. It's the last few words. I'm sorry. It is there.
So can we just vote on that?
I move we approve the joint election agreement with Travis County.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Kelly,
agree?
motion. You need
Do
a
we have a
second?
second?
I'll second that.
Okay,
Beth
second by
seconded.
Beth. All in favor?
All in favor. And then I think they're gonna defer the other items.
They're going to defer reconstituting and filing with the TCEQ.
Yes. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yes.
Okay, so as it stands right now, we have Hanoi as president, Linda as treasurer, and then Beth as director, Kelly as secretary, and I think David as assistant secretary. So the TCEQ is not gonna have updated information for this district, so that's,
Is
it's
it
not
a
common.
concern?
Most districts
It-
file these documents when they reconstitute, but if you all want to wait a month, then that's okay. We just are going to have out-of-date records with the state agency.
Just file them and then we file them again when you put a VP.
Can't
So
we
this
just
way
vote
we're
on
in
it right now?
compliance.
So do it now? Is that what you're
Yeah, I would
recommending?
suggest you do it
Yes.
now without a VP, and then when you put a VP in, do it again.
So
We're
you
past the 4
wanna,
minutes.
so you want him to file the district registration form as the board stands,
Mhm.
and then you can
Yeah.
reconstitute. Okay, so he's
Let's do that.
gonna, do they need to vote to do the TCQ form as the board stands?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Okay,
motion.
Motion.
So Hanoi motion, who's seconding?
I'll second.
Beth seconded.
What's the motion?
To constitute the board, or sorry, to file the form with TCQ, the district registration form, as the board currently stands, as Cole stated, and then y'all can convene next month to determine who's VP.
Okay, seconded by Beth.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Linda, are you a no or an abstention?
I'm abstaining because blowing through an agenda like this is
It's exactly the same as it was last
ridiculous.
year.
Okay, I move that we adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Did that item pass?
It did,
Yes.
Linda was an abstention. Everyone else
Okay,
was a
That's
yes.
fine.
Hanoi voted to adjourn, Beth seconded, all in favor?
All in favor? All right, let's go home.
Hold- Linda didn't vote on that.
That's okay, it passed
Okay.
anyway.
I'm going to say, Mackenzie, if I can get some of these votes from you, and also Linda, if you're willing to share some of the votes with me as well, I
I
would
will.
appreciate it.
Okay.
I will.
All right, thank you.
Good
And
night,
I
guys.
know you all want to go, so meeting adjourned, but I will second Linda's comment. It's not, I don't really like blowing through the agenda like this, especially when it gets to my report. And there are, contracts and documents to sign, so, it makes it difficult. But you all have a good night, and I'll see you next month.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Have a
Thanks,
nice vacation, Cole. Turn your phone off. Change your message. Hey, I have an idea for you.
Is it gonna make me a lot of money?